Okay, first time with the video recorder that gets the best pictures since the wildfire. You can see here, Quetzalcoatl is still up on it. I got time lapse going on the phone. So we're gonna get some good video today. A little after 10 a.m. Okay, a little time has passed. Quetzalcoatl's moving. There's Ra, a horse. Okay, a little bit later, Quetzalcoatl's shadow is coming down more. Starting to see make out the circle. Eye of Providence. Okay, it's almost gone off the hill there. I can start to see the Eye of Providence forming. So it must be close to, or it's after 11. So I got the phone on the lapse, or time lapse. So I can't check the time. So I just had an epiphany. I've been trying to figure out how to date this. But there's got to be a way to date it. This hasn't been here forever. With the erosion of the mountain, it can't be super old. Super old, I mean 13,000 years ago, like they say the pyramids may be, and the Sphinx and all that. I think obviously that's connected to this place here where the gods were born, but so it's connected to this. So whatever this area here, I think is as old as it gets. Zep Tepe, I think, is the time before, and I think that's this area, the land of Punt, or the place where the gods are from. All the Egyptian gods were from somewhere else. They weren't from here, or Egypt. So all these sun gods were born here, like I've been saying. So I've been trying to think that with the precession of the equinox, the wobble of the earth on the axis, that there's got to be a way that the sun was different way back when, but it just isn't. It's always the same. It's maybe the seasons move in the calendar, but now the calendars are locked in to keep it the same. Just the time of the year, the temperature of the year, the same as the calendar. But so the sun is always in the same spot throughout the cycle. So it doesn't change dramatically at all through even 5,000 years. It's the same, pretty much the same. So and I keep thinking, well, how about erosion? Can we tell from the erosion? Well, it's just a guess, speculation. And so it just occurred to me that, and I was telling somebody a week or so ago that the climate in the desert Southwest 6,000 years ago was a lot different than it is now. It wasn't an arid climate. So that's the key right there. So I've always tell people from Michigan, I said, yeah, I like the desert out here. I like to be able to see the ground. I like to see the geology. There's not much brush covering it, no trees. Of course, up in the high part of the country, Arizona it is, but down here in the southwest, you can see the ground. You can see the rock. Now, 6,000 years ago, if this was full of vegetation, trees, we would not be seeing this image here on the mountain. There might be tall trees here. I'll have to look into that more to see if anybody's got any guesses on that or good proof. But so if the desert was more tropical or had a lot more rain, there would be more vegetation, different vegetation. Trees, mainly. Trees would be covering that up there. We wouldn't be able to see it. They're big trees. You wouldn't see even raw there. Just be an outcropping sticking up out. So I say the timing of the Egyptologists have on the pyramid, I think it's closer than the alternative anthropologists say, like Graham Hancock and a bunch of guys, Robert Schoch. I think they're way off. So 5,000 years ago is what I've been saying is the real connection with about 3,500 BC. Even the North Star was different at that time. It was called Thuban. It was at a different location. It was on the constellation Draco. And Thuban means serpent. And a lot of connotations to the raising your consciousness, that kind of thing. And I believe that's the golden era, too, of man. That's when they were into enlightenment, raising the consciousness to commune with God. That's what also, it's kind of interesting. It might be a big coincidence, but I'm setting on the alignment from where I'm setting to just the right side of that peak up there is the summer solstice sunrise alignment. And if you continue extend that line, continue to the east coast of the United States, within a couple degrees is Nova Scotia. And everybody knows, if they watch TV, what's in Nova Scotia is Oak Island. And they have a big mystery there that I keep saying is more connected to the alchemists than treasure hunters. There was a lot of alchemists in Boston in the mid-1600s, one being George Starkey. He was the most famous American alchemist that ended up moving to England, to London, and worked with Sir Isaac Newton and all those guys, the early scientists, chemists and stuff, science guys. So they were there, and Boston is pretty close to Nova Scotia. So they were up, everybody was mining that. It's, the Oak Island, everything tells them it's a mine. The shafts, the tunnels, even possibly water tunnels, they want to get water in every now and then to do work. The docks in the bay there, all that work, and all the artifacts are fine. People are working there, living there, dropping shit on the ground, and they had a lot of holes in their pockets apparently back then. And so the name of the game back then was to raise your consciousness. That's alchemy. That's what alchemy is. It's what Egypt, the ancient Egyptians were all trying to do. It's their Book of the Dead, Egyptologists say now, talks about preparing for the death and be prepared for the death and afterlife. And actually it's The death of your old consciousness and the rebirth of your new consciousness, your higher consciousness. That's really what they're talking about. All that kind of talk has been squashed by the church for so long that we have forgotten that. A lot have. So, Oak Island was a mine. Everybody can see that through the years. Different countries have been there. They've documented that. France, Spanish, English, the Templars, everybody has been in there. And not very often do you have a mining operation that's hidden from history. Why would they hide a mine from history? There's not gold there. These guys would have picked up on that in the ground there. But there is gypsum and this anhydrite. And the anhydrite has got metaphysical qualities, and they call it angel light, where it'll raise your consciousness to talk with, commune with angels, is what that means. So that's got an energetic property to it as well, and that's what they were mining. I believe they were mining the anhydrite and the gypsum. It's right on the coast. You can ship it easy from there. You don't have to drag it across the hills from the ground. It's right at the water's edge, and they can haul it wherever they want. And over time, things stop and people talk about the real treasure. There's a treasure there. It's really valuable. Well, it's not. They don't know what the value is. The treasure, like the treasure here, is the spirituality of this place, the energy that's here in this geological formation, and the neat apparitions that appear here on the mountainside. The symbol that forms in the winter solstice sun. There's statues that look like birdmen. I mean, there's a list of things here. And so this is the treasure. Enlightenment brings immortality. Once you are enlightened, you understand that you don't die. Your soul continues on. That's a pretty good treasure. So education knowledge is wealth. And that's what you get from the anhydrite at Oak Island too. Immortality. It's the Holy Grail. And this, some say the information, when you commune with God, you're connected to the Akashic records, and that knowledge comes to you through that energy. And it kind of makes you a little obsessed too, I believe. I'm a little bit obsessed with this out here, and everybody that works at Oak Island becomes obsessed with that thing. They're working in it, they're in that energy all the time. It's pretty subtle. Some may not feel it. They may talk about it, but maybe behind the cameras, not in front of the cameras, but they're feeling the effects of it, I believe. They won't want to hear that because they spend a lot of money there trying to find a treasure, but the treasure, they've already found it long ago. They just don't realize it. So here, the Quetzalcoatl is gone. The shadow of the serpent on the left side is gone, and the eye is forming. I can barely see the T with the naked eye. Hopefully this video camera will make it better. If you get too close, you just can't see it, but too far away also. But that's it for now. Okay, I think it's around noon. That's a guess. Back to my discussion about Oak Island. In the episodes right now, currently they're talking about the swamp. And there's a circle in it of rock toward the top of it. You don't know what that is, but nothing grows there. Just kind of interesting. There's a triangle with a circle on it toward the top of it. It's kind of interesting what that is. Maybe it's a symbol and nothing else. Just a symbol of that enlightenment is there at that island. Interesting here is the sun dagger. If you're looking back some of the earlier videos, but the sun dagger on that side of the mountain and across along the side of the peak there and to the north is the shadow line as the sun comes up around through there in the morning creates a dagger of light where there's no shadows in it, and it points across the mountain and onto the other side, and next to the smaller hill, part of the three hills peaks for the Orion constellation layout, and there's a circle at the top of it, right at the point of the dagger, and nothing grows there. You can see it from Google Earth, a little circle, right at the point of the sun dagger, I call it. That's several hundred feet long. It's big. So there's it's quite a coincidence, isn't it? Another interesting thing that's going on here. Curious to see what this looks like on a computer screen. Can't hardly make out the little screen I got on this camera.